Hello people, welcome to the final round of the Club 100 Heavyweight Sprint Series. We're starting on pole. This is a 2023 season, starting on pole, and we're at Buckmore Park. Green lights go out, and it should be fairly straightforward not to lose any positions from here. We've got the inside line and everything, but oh dear, it's all wet, isn't it? Look at this. And getting a few hits, getting a few taps in the rear, and unfortunately we're going to lose at least one place to this guy here. Now, as we get blocked off, there's everyone going around us, inside, outside. Guy on the right there is trying to force the guy on the left onto the grass, and then he spins, karma. Unfortunately, we are down to fourth and make it fifth place as Paul Williams goes past us as well. He's going to take that place. So not a very good start, and I was a bit disappointed actually in the 4 minutes of warm up that we have just before the races. I felt really confident, happy in the kart. I managed to sort of break away from everyone else, shot off. So all of a sudden, everyone else has obviously worked together a little bit as we lose another place. That's James Johnson, better known as Rich T Racing. So he's just gone past us as well. So down to sixth position off a pole start. Not great, is it? Never mind. Let's see what we can do. So back into lap two now. We're going to go up the inside of James Johnson there. We just managed to get the car, find some grip there just on the inside. So I actually think I managed to cock a wheel there. And then Paul Williams loses the rear there and hands us back our fourth position. So we've got Tim Williams, there's two Williamses in this race. Tim Williams up front. We've got Fuller, I don't know his first name, but he's got Fuller on his back. So I'm going to go out on a limb and assume that his name is something Fuller. And then we've got Steve Lindley, very experienced guy up ahead of us. So unfortunately, unless one of the guys ahead is gonna make a mistake, which I suspect they won't, because they're three obviously really good guys. Unfortunately, it's going to be very difficult to catch up with them, but we'll see what we can do. The issue that really I've got is that I know that there's going to be a lot of very talented guys behind as well. I'm looking into getting a 360 camera. I thought I had one, or I thought I'd ordered one. Turns out it's not a 360 camera. A bit embarrassing, but I needed one anyway, so I'll keep it. You know, it's not a problem. But anyway, into lap three, and I think it's going to be one of those days where if you're able to keep it on the circuit, then you stand a reasonably good chance of picking up a few places as others fall off around you. And Buckmore Park, as it so often is such a tricky place in these kind of conditions. And the reason it's tricky, and oh dear, as we look going all over the track, and we're going off again, oh no, we've just about rescued it. Very very easy to do that, by the way. I know no one else is doing it, so you might say, well, everyone else has managed, but let me assure you, it is very easy to go into all of the wrong places. We're avoiding the normal racing line here, because that's where the rubber has been laid down. Rubber and moisture do not mix well. And one other thing that the rubber does is it infills all of the small sort of cracks and little indentations in the tarmac. So it makes for a very smooth surface, and in dry conditions that's exactly what you want, but in wet conditions you need those little pointy bits to dig into the tyres, give you a little bit more grip. So we're trying to stay off the normal racing line where the rubber would normally be laid down. We'd lose a place there to Adam, and I can't remember his surname, just by being in the wrong place at the wrong time. We've lost a place to Adam and Rich D Racing. We go up the inside of Rich D Racing, but rather predictably, he just comes straight back at us. It didn't drive well today at all. Really did not drive well at all. So, if you're watching this hoping to understand what to do, then I'm going to have to disappoint you, I'm afraid. Although Heat 2 was pretty good, actually. Anyway, very, very tricky place to race in these kind of conditions. And one of the reasons is these trees here, just above us, they hold a lot of the moisture in kind of in the air, and they block out the sun, so it's very difficult to for any evaporation to happen at the top end of the circuit. So what you find is that the circuit dries at different rates. So the top end of the circuit where we are now, that holds on to a lot more water than the bottom end of the circuit. Bottom end of the circuit, down the hill, down this hill here, this dries out far more quickly. So it's very difficult to kind of conceptualize in your own mind if you're on a wet, dry track. I mean, the track is moving. The wet patches are moving all of the time. Sometimes someone might go over or might go off the dry line and drag a load of water onto what was previously a dry bit of track. As carts go round and round and round the circuit, they pick up water and they move it and they dry the track in certain areas as well. So the racetrack is a constantly changing thing. And this racetrack in particular, I know the camera doesn't really show it, but this racetrack actually has loads of elevation changes, and we're at the top of what is not an insignificant hill just up here. And as we go at this point here, as Adam and Steve Lindley get together, as we're going just through this point here, we're actually now going down quite a significant drop just here. You can see it, but even on this camera, it really doesn't look as kind of significant as it actually is. Tricky place to come in these conditions. I've been here plenty of times now, so no excuse for not knowing which way it goes or anything like that. I don't really know why I was so off the pace today, and I'm getting my car into the wrong places. I think I was overdriving a little bit, and if you do that in the wet, you get punished even more, I think, than in the dry. As we go into the final lap now, just hoping, very unsportsmanlike, that these boys might take each other out and give me another couple of places, but they're all professional guys up ahead, professional racers in Club 100 Sprint Series, heavyweight division. So I suspect that we're not going to benefit really there, as you see, just trying to square the corner off as best we can. If you can accelerate in a straight line, you're going to find life an awful lot easier than if you're doing it whilst the car has got some steering lock on. I'm going to really drift it around this corner. Not really sure why I'm doing that. It's definitely not the quickest way around, but that's the decision I've made on this occasion. Last place for overtaking is Garda. There's someone right behind me, actually. I think it's Bill Taylor. So I'm a little bit more concerned, actually, as we just get a tap there, a little bit more concerned about him than anything going on up ahead. Just at the moment, but not really any way for him to go up the inside there, and that is a P6 down from P1 start, so not terrific really, I have to admit. Now we're starting P6 in our next one, so let's see what we can do. Again, not a terrific start. I don't make very good starts, do I? I think I'm just a fraction slow getting off the line. Loads of loading kind of going in there. I come off the throttle and then I get amazing traction on the inside, actually, and up into P4 and then possibly P3, but there's a guy who is, it is P3 actually, guy who was just on our left there. Obviously didn't get particularly good traction, up into P3 actually. That's pretty good, and it's Adam, I think it's Adam Nartha, I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing that correctly, then we have are battling pretty hard, again, like I say, as Darryl goes through there, if they can slow each other up and bring us back into it, as they have done a little bit there, that is just going to be terrific. That's going to be really wonderful. Come on, chaps, if we can do that, that would be ideal. And you might be able to see already, although we're taking the same kind of wet lines around this corner that we were previously doing in Heat 1, we have started taking a few more dry lines. There are a couple more or additional dry line options open to us. So I'm bringing the background there on the gas, kind of the only really real option there. The inside of that corner there, hairpin 1, Now that does actually drive. There's a very slight camber change inward, sort of positive camber there. So that does actually dry a little bit more quickly. So if you're sort of thinking, or if you find yourself in conditions like this at Buckmore Park, and you're wondering which sort of parts of the track it might be worth trying out first of all, if conditions are drying up, that's one of them. However, there is a word of caution there. Where the curb meets the track, the positive camber obviously turns to a negative camber, and if you hit it just at the wrong angle, and you do actually find a very small amount of water pooling there. So I've done that once before. It's been basically sort of the dry line, but it's potentially one of these places which potentially can catch you out. I'm still giving it a wide berth at the moment, and there you can see Adam there. He is able to remain competitive. He goes up the inside, Darrell Lowe on the outside there as well. They just come together a little bit, and they're coming together by quite a lot. That's really given us, naughty, says Darrell. That's really given us an opportunity to get right up to these guys who, let's be honest, are quicker than us. They are a little bit quicker, aren't they? You can see even just into this downhill section, which I admit is not my strongest point on this track. I'm much better up the top section. Down that hill, I'm not terrific. So they gap me ever so slightly there. Again, as they start fighting, I'm able to close right back up onto them. And if I can be in the right place at the right time, I'm just hoping that I might be able to pick one or both of them off. But again, I think I'm aware, as I'm half thinking about a look up the inside of Darrell Lowe, I'm just aware that I'm in quite a good position here. I've gone up 3 places off the start. These guys are looking a little bit fighty, and it's one of these moments. Do I or don't I? Do I go for it? Risk coming together, risk a penalty, risk sending myself into the netherworld of barrier pain, and also do I risk people coming for me, people taking what would be a reasonably good finishing position in this heat, P3. And there we are. This is Chris on our left hand side. I think he's going to come back at us. Yeah, there he is, Chris Alcock there. Very, very experienced C1 driver. He's been doing this for years, and I was aware of him loitering around my rear bumper for a little while, to be honest, I mean, I know it sounds like a bit loser talk this, doesn't it? But I was, to be honest, quite pleased that I held him up for as long as I did. He is very, very good, and is a very well-known guy in the paddock. So, but you can see, can't you? That moment there has delayed us. But yeah, we're able. Oh no! Do you see this? Like this. Right, okay, I got onto initially I got some good bite on the front end there, hit the apex, and then suddenly the apex was a little bit more slippery and I sailed wide, and that's really cost us quite a lot of time, hasn't it? We were already quite a long way behind the 3 in front, but that really cost us quite a lot of time there. But I think you can see, just even throughout the course of this heat, the grip levels have improved quite considerably. It's still very, very greasy, but grip levels definitely going in the right direction. But yeah, these excuse me, these kind of conditions are always just the most tricky. You know, it's such a it's a golden opportunity to throw it off, as people behind us are obviously getting a little bit bitey with each other. It's just the perfect opportunity to go one step too far and throw it off. And I have still made up positions in this heat. Particularly after a not very brilliant heat 1, it's one of these where I have to say, do I risk it against drivers who I suspect are going to be quicker than me anyway, and could get back past me without too much trouble, or do I drive within myself a little bit, 95%, and just try and bring it home and and get some good points for hopefully a decent starting position in the finals. And I'm going to choose the boring option. Yeah, I'm forgetting that I'm a content creator here. Well, not really a content creator, but I'm forgetting about the audience. I'm just being a little bit cautious, a little bit too cautious, really, as I believe this is now going to be the final lap. Yeah, there it is, final lap board, and I'm not even close enough to watch a great battle up ahead. So I'm really sorry about this. It's probably not making terribly good footage, is it? But Chris has got through on Darrell Lowe, I think. Chris Alcock through on Darrell Lowe, so he's gone up to second. Adam Nartha, if that is how you pronounce his name, sorry if it's not, is still holding on to first position. And he retains that first place still at the moment. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? Right, going down the hill. I hate this section of track. There's so much rubber down there because in the dry you really are going very, very fast, and you're really working the tyres. In the wet, it's just horrific. I suspect there's someone a little bit close behind me as well, so I'm just kind of hogging the middle of the track just to dissuade them from thinking of a last ditch move up the inside. Again, a little bit like the previous race. I'm a little bit more concerned about what's going on ahead of us. Sorry, behind us, then ahead of us. So that's a P4. So it's P6 and a P4. But we have now got our back start. So we're starting in P11. So it's going to be much more difficult this time. Not a terrible start though, which is a little bit unusual. And we've got the inside line, but a lot of big names, big hitters in this one. You can see Anwar Bowles-Smith, a couple ahead of us. You've got Callum Sigafus, I believe, in this one as well, and he's potentially fighting for right at the top of the class. So that's he's one to watch as well. People going all around. Oh dear, we've taken a bit of a hit, and we're on to the red stuff, and you just get no drive then once you're on that red stuff. It did actually rain. There was a bit of a gap between my second and my third heat, and it did actually rain. Just a little bit, not very much. It was almost kind of like that misty sort of rain in the air. But it's definitely, particularly at the top end of the circuit, I think gotten a little bit wetter. Down the bottom end of the circuit, it's looking very dry, isn't it? There's almost like a dry line appearing now. So again, just like we were saying before, that's sometimes one of the most challenging aspects of racing, because when you've got a dry line, of course there's really only one part of the racetrack that you can be, and if you're not on it, look at that, hairpin one has dried up a bit now, hasn't it? Because I tried that earlier. We're going to get shoved off. That's it. We hold on to it actually. But Jason Kirkham goes through on us. I think he knows this place. Actually, I'm not sure if it's him, but I think someone knows this place. That's a really stupid comment, isn't it? Someone knows this place really well. I think it might be Jason Kirkham. He's certainly racing well there, isn't he? He was much more committed down the S's than we were. So I wonder if we're going to learn from that next time around. See if we can learn a thing or two from Jason here. Lots of fighting in the pack just ahead of us as well, though. So we haven't completely lost touch with everyone. So after a not a very good start, I don't know why it is. Like sometimes you just have days where the starts go really well, and sometimes you just have days where the starts go appallingly. Wilton Mill last time in the previous episode, the starts were appalling. The general pace was really good, so I was able to make up for it. But yeah, I think I lost about 15 places off the starts of the 3 heats in total. Really bad starts, and it was a load of like really kind of like unfortunate stuff, like someone's front bumper catching the gap between my right rear wheel and my right rear bumper as someone's thrown it up the inside. We've got the inside coming back out though. But yeah, you see there it's Jockey Wilson. You see there, because we were on a wetter part of the track, we then just completely wash wide, and that's what makes it so tricky. doesn't it? Oh God, we were a little bit close to him there, weren't we? Again, as we take slightly different lines. Now Jockey is actually fighting for P1 in the C3 Championship. I have to be honest, I thought he had won it already by this stage. I didn't realise it wasn't all sewn up for him. If I'd known that there was a championship on the line, I wouldn't have fought Jockey quite as hard as I did throughout the day, because we are going to. It might have been actually. We might have already been doing it. I might have missed it, but we did have a few side-by-side moments with Johnny, and it's just in these conditions. I wouldn't have wanted, as he goes up the inside of Jason Kirkham, I wouldn't have wanted to, or tries to, doesn't quite work out. And actually, we're gonna benefit from that. I wouldn't have wanted to have made a mistake which cost someone their championship. Obviously we're going to want to race all the time, but there's a sort of limit. I'm not fighting for anything really. I've had a fairly a season, a character building season, let's say. There's been some wonderful moments, and there's also been some of the most difficult days I've had in karting in recent years as well. So as Jason Kirkham getting, oh yes, this is a good example here. See, the bit of track we were on was really kind of soaking wet, and if I hadn't backed out early there, then I definitely would have sailed into the side of Jason Kirkham. It's a tricky part of the track to be, tricky type of track to try and negotiate wet dry. And actually, there is probably, I think that's Jockey again. We're going to have to go on the curb. Let's give him a little bit of space. Yeah, there he is on our outside. So this is the battle that I was referring to earlier, where I didn't know that Jockey still had a championship to be fighting. He's going to go wide and give us a little bit of space. But yeah, there we just come together. I couldn't disappear off the apex there. But looking back at this now, as we get another shove off onto the red stuff there, we're going to lose 2 places as a result of that. A bit of an unfortunate one. Just going backwards again. This is the thing about fighting. When you're fighting with someone, it really ruins your momentum, which is a bit of an unfortunate one. Oh yeah, we got a massive hit there. And that costs us a place. But over just on the right hand side, I don't know if you saw, but that's Johnny Wilson, who's unfortunately just lost the rear, presumably again on a wet patch, and we lose the rear massively, just at that point there as well. It's funny actually, because I didn't know why, but in that kind of final, it's called Cafe Curve, I think, Cafe Curve or Cafe Corner. In that final corner, a couple of times in the dying moments of this heat, the rear is completely lit up, and I started sailing wide at that corner, and that was a corner that sort of previously hadn't been too difficult. So I'm not really sure why. Why I was suddenly experiencing that. One thing that I would say is that in my gap between heat, my second and third heat, the sun came out, and one thing that I find, are we going to do it here as well now? No. See, we're not. See, that time we were able to keep it on the track. It's the final lap. Yeah, I switched to a dark visor, a smoked visor, because when you've got a wet track and the sun comes out, the glare that you get off the road can be sort of blinding. But I do wonder a little bit if it made it more difficult to see some of these wet patches, which are kind of not immediately obvious. So, it's not been a good heat, this one, has it? We've kind of just gone backwards. We've taken a few knocks, and in the dying moment, let's see if we can do anything. Sail really, really wide there. Actually, again, it does seem to be a little bit more grip, but we've lost loads and loads of time. Can we do anything? We get some good drive out of this corner here, though. Space opens up on the inside, and we take it. He wasn't very happy about that move afterwards, that driver, but if you think back, as we go wide again, think back a couple of laps, you will remember him shoving me really wide at Garda. So if we're racing hard, then we're racing hard. You can't complain if an equally harsh move is done on you. Anyway, we're starting P4 in the B final. I'm a little bit surprised I was that high up actually, because I think it was a P11, a P4 and a P6, so not terrific. Can we do anything? So obviously the top two go through into the A final, so that's going to be our aim. We've got Adrian up ahead of us, really good guy, very experienced in these karts as well. He travels down with Damien and Johnny Wilson, who we were battling with in the last heat. But we've started P4 and we've made it up to P3 so far. Mike Bodner was on our right hand side and we managed to go around the outside. So good start, although we're not troubling the two up ahead. But just here, look, you can't actually see it, but we were really sent wide there. And then on our own, we lose the rear on a wet patch and we lose all our momentum, and absolutely everyone is going by on us. Now I think Mike Bodner gets a penalty for that move. Or I assume it was that move. It might have been a different move, but he did get a penalty for contact, and I was sent wide, but cost me 4 places. But I can't blame anyone else for losing the rear on my own there. That was on me, that one. So yeah, absolutely everyone has gone by. I couldn't have chosen a worse time to do it really, on lap 1, lap 1, where the whole field is bunched up together. But you know what, I'm at this stage, I'm just like, right, let's just drive around and have a laugh really, because I'm not fighting for a championship, and it's a good job as well, given today's poor performance, as someone just gets into the side of someone else loses the rear there as well, and so we've gone up 3 positions. Someone else has got a penalty, car number 13, here you can see that there is a bit of a bit more of an obvious dry line that's greeting us, even at the top end of the circuit, where I said that previously it takes a little bit longer to warm up and to dry up, I should say. But anyway, look, whilst we're just kind of pounding around, having a bit of a laugh, I'll tell you about a few other things. We did the season opener in the brand spanking new karts. Did it with Mango mate Scotty P. Had a good laugh. But this is quite interesting actually. The karts are all shiny and new, beautiful, but I think when they come straight out the box, there are some of the some of the screws and everything are perhaps a little bit tight. So one thing to mention was that some of the pedals were very difficult to move. And I suspect that it's just because they'd been over tightened at the factory, and actually that was the case probably for a load of other stuff on the karts as well, because the kart that we had in our first race, the season opener is made up of 2 1-hour-long races, and the kart that we had in our first race was 9/10 of a second slower than the one that we had in the second race. Now I know that these karts are all sort of built to spec. They're all completely they're built equally, aren't they? But of course, the way that the sort of guys in the factory put them together, how tightly they do the screws, the small idiosyncrasies of the different karts can change slightly. Straight from the factory, one kart was 9/10 of a second slower than another one, and I think this really demonstrates what a good job Club 100 do once they get the karts of making sure that they are all even. They've obviously got 2 really experienced kart testers going around, pounding around, Sam Dimlow and Nicky Richardson. So they take these karts all around. That's what they're doing. Sometimes you see them at the back of the heats. They're making sure that the karts are doing everything that they're supposed to be doing. And obviously, just in the first time that they were out, they didn't have time to be able to do that. But you don't normally expect Club 100 karts, or you don't, in my experience, you definitely don't see Club 100 karts being a second slower than each other. Of course, you're never going to get them 100% even, but of course, I left the season opener thinking actually Club 100 do a really good job of, once taking ownership of the karts, of levelling them out so that they become as even as possible. So the first kart that we had, it had a real problem low down. Well, I mean, it was crap everywhere, to be honest, but it was particularly noticeable, particularly obvious out of the slow speed corners, like that one Garda that we've just been through, and it was just, it instantly felt completely different in the second kart that we had. So anyway, we've met a little group of karts up ahead, so can we do anything about any of these guys? Let's hope so. Just as we've lost a bit of time now, haven't we? Big slide on the rear, completely overdriving there. But again, like I say, not really too much in the way of things to fight over. Now it's just about having a good time, really. I'm thinking that if I sort of drive a little bit more aggressively than I normally do, like I said, normally I try and keep my hands still as possible. I think that perhaps in the wet, it's probably better to have a little bit more movement on the steering wheel, but you must be really, really smooth with your feet inputs, with your brakes and the throttle application. And I'm kind of the opposite. I'm very smooth on the steering, but my application of the throttle and the brake definitely needs some refinement. So I think that's partly perhaps one of the reasons why I struggled today in these kind of conditions. You see, just there, I just hit a wet patch that I didn't notice, and lucky to keep it on the circuit there, and all of that work that we did to try and get up to have a fight with some people up ahead is all for nothing, really. So that's a bit of a shame, wasn't it? Never mind. Let's see if we can rebuild or close that gap back in. Of course, we're not really fighting with anyone at the moment, so we can put we should be putting some more consistent laps in. That's a better line through there. And we've got some yellow flags up ahead as well. What's happened? Someone just recovering. Looks like they're just recovering. So they've had one move. This sort of group of 6, or I suppose however many it is now. They've had one move where they've cost themselves a little bit of time, and someone's just recovering as well. So suddenly back into it now. It's amazing, isn't it? How I watch my footage back every time, and I can see that I'm just being too aggressive in certain parts of the track, and I always get home, I look at the footage, and I think, damn, I wish I just hadn't been so aggressive. Why haven't I just learned? Or someone's gone around, and that's Mike Bodner actually, who we met at the start of this final. That's a scary place. Oh dear, someone else has had some fighting going on. But again, we're on a wet patch, and now we lose both those places again and 2 more. So that just sums up the day, really. We sort of took evasive action to try and avoid a couple of other people, and got ourselves on a wet patch. Getting on a wet patch and then going backwards, that would sum up my day. My fault. Oh well, never mind. You live and learn, don't you? This is the end of a learning year. What I was going to say earlier, just coming down this hill, there's probably not a scarier place to be facing the wrong way than this part of the track anywhere on the Club 100 calendar. If there is, anyway, let me know. But I think the speed coming down that hill and the fact that people won't be able to see you until you're quite late just means that it's going to be absolutely terrifying. So, yeah, I think he was all right though. 12 minutes this final, so again we've got more people getting into each other. We're going to go and stay on the inside line here because well, the inside is always the best place to be, but we don't manage to make anything work. Try and cut back and see if we can make anything of it. Again, like traction is just pretty poor, isn't it? It sums up my my time in karting. I've said this before on this channel. I just take a little bit too much speed in, I think. Oh dear, as these people all get together, I've lost a place there. I think that's Lawrence Gia, who's just managed to go up 3 places. We're going to. What's going to happen? We're not able to make things through. More penalties being thrown out. This kind of midfield group of doom and gloom. It's quite an interesting racing to be part of. It's not very quick. I mean, I dread to think how far the guys right at the front of this final are with all of this going on now. I lost another place. That's Mike Bodner. Lost another place coming out of that hairpin. That was one of the places I was really struggling. I said already I was struggling everywhere, but that was one place in particular that I was really struggling. If you go on the inside of Garda, you can see there that it was still very wet. So I was almost half thinking about a return move, but seeing that it was still wet just put me off going for it. And that's why I think there's quite a lot of contact in this final, isn't there? And perhaps some of it could be is avoidable, but some of it will be people trying to make a move, finding that just offline they've got no grip whatsoever, and sailing into the person either side. But Mike Bodner seems to collect his rear up on the exit of hairpin 2 really well. He was unable to do anything with it there, but that is just one place where he seems to be very quick out of that corner. I'm not really sure how he's managing to do it. He's obviously doing a good job again there. Look at that, and it's happened again. I wasn't able to. Someone was on the racing line. Final lap, and we got must have yellow flags. Yeah, hands up in the air. Someone was on a bit of a track I needed to be. I had to take evasive just to get out of the way, and we've lost 3-4 more places. So there it is. There you have it. That typifies my day, but never mind. It's one of those things, isn't it? And like I say, without anything to fight for, it really doesn't matter. It's still a good day's karting, still a good day's racing. Still enjoyed it. So here comes the end of the heavyweight sprint series 2022 season. It's not the end for these guys up ahead though, are they? Still changing position, still battling position, but there it is. Can we make it around the outside? No, we can't. There we are, there we have it. That is the end of the season. So thanks ever so much for watching. Thanks ever so much for watching all season. If you have watched all season, really appreciate it. We will be back. By the way, I'm sorry if this is so late. This is like 2 months late. I've got some iPad storage issues, which means I can't get the stuff off my iPad, off my camera and onto my iPad until I've done a load of other stuff. So so apologies for that, but I hope you enjoyed watching. And the new season, I'm doing GX UK, GX 200 Senior UK, which is an owner-driver event, and I'm doing Heavyweight Sprints 2024. So hoping to bring you lots more content. Please do like and subscribe if you enjoyed watching the racing footage. There's going to be plenty more this season, once again, look forward to bringing you the next one. Season or round 1 is this coming weekend at the time of me doing this voiceover. So looking forward again as the A finalists are preparing to go out. Looking forward to bringing you some more content. Thanks ever so much for watching. Bye bye.
Thanks for watching Mango Motorsport, a community for racing fanatics.